I repeat, do not overreact to the title of this video. I feel like I need to preface everything I'm going to say in this video with, I love Spider-Man PS5. Insomniac Spider-Man is my favorite adaptation of the web slinger of all time, and I'm a firm believer in Insomniac we trust. They have produced 2 phenomenal Spider-Man games and have completely earned my trust with these characters. I cannot wait for Marvel Spider-Man 2. I think Spider-Man 2 is going to be amazing. Just take a look at the 70 plus videos on my channel praising Insomniac for their Spider-Man games. But as much as I am a massive fanboy of this franchise, I would be lying if I didn't have just one little concern about the game. And we're going to talk all about that in today's video, so let's swing on into it. Marvel Spider-Man 2 has a chance to be a huge and epic game. There's a lot to be excited for within this story. I mean, we're getting one of the most iconic storylines in Spider-Man history, the Black Suit story along with Venom. But even though I am out of my mind excited for this game and this story, the one little concern I have is balancing out all of these characters and interweaving plots. Let's take a look at what we could expect from Marvel Spider-Man 2 from a story perspective. To start with, we have potentially 2 playable Spider-Man. I'm assuming that there's a chance that Miles will have a handful of missions solely dedicated to him in this game. Not only do we have to balance out the relationship between Peter and Miles, but there's also the relationship between Peter and MJ that I'm sure will get some attention in this story. And then there's the storyline of the Black Suit. Peter getting the symbiote suit needs to be done well in order for this game to be really impactful. There is a lot riding on the symbiote suit story in this game. On top of that, we have what I believe may be the most important thing Insomniac needs to nail in order for this game to really work, and that's the relationship between Peter and Harry in this universe. This might be my biggest concern. The reason the dynamic between Spider-Man and Doc Ock worked so well in the first game was because of all of the time spent developing a relationship between Peter and Otto that we truly cared about. And in a game that's this big, I'm really curious to see if there's going to be enough time to give me a relationship between Peter and Harry that I really care about. Especially if Harry does end up being Venom in this game, the character we assume will be the main antagonist. To add on to that, we have side missions. We have new characters and villains that will likely be introduced. We have Kraven as a major factor, the setup for Green Goblin in the 3rd game. Also, will this game set up a solo Venom game down the line? I'm not sure about that. And what about Yuri, aka Wraith? What's next for her story? There truly is a lot to balance out in this game, and I'm not here to spread any negativity at all. Like I said, I do have faith in Insomniac to deliver us a phenomenal sequel. I guess I'm just anxious to see how it all plays out. With all of that said, I do feel like there are 2 things that need to be the core of this game. And it's Peter getting the symbiote suit. We really need to explore how it affects his relationships with others such as MJ and Miles, and it needs to bring a level of darkness to the game. The symbiote suit storyline for Peter Parker will play a major factor in this game, and I feel like a lot of attention and detail needs to be dedicated to that storyline. And then the second most important thing is Peter's relationship with Harry. We really don't know much about Harry other than what we learned at research stations and little bits of info found in Norman's condo. There needs to be some serious time spent on Peter and Harry, giving us a friendship that we really care about, so that way the story is compelling. That way we get another epic story of Pete's worlds colliding. Those are the 2 things that I feel like Insomniac really has to nail, and they need to pay most of their attention to those 2 things. And then of course, everything else is kind of secondary. You can sprinkle in all of the little side stories and additional characters. But if Insomniac does nail those 2 things that I mentioned and puts a lot of focus on those, then I feel like the game will be fairly balanced. If I had it my way, I would try to make sure that this game is a little bit longer than the first game, just because the symbiote suit storyline and Venom is just such a huge story. I'd perhaps make it around 5 hours longer just to accommodate for the larger story. But I'm not losing any sleep over of this, guys. It's just a minor concern of mine. Like I said before, in Insomniac games we trust. I'm so pumped for the game, and I hope we are able to get a new trailer or gameplay soon. If you guys haven't checked it out already, I did a video recently about the possibility of a new trailer or gameplay revealed at D23 this year. You can find that on my channel if you do want to check it out. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with all of the Marvel Spider-Man 2 hype. It's all I talk about on my channel, so if you're a Spider-Man PS5 fan, then this may be the channel for you. But that's going to do it for me, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.